Phelan. Very nice here in Leipzig. Lots of choices. Morning, George. That's it. They're good sausage and very good eggs. And then little fried eggs there, too. And there's Father Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning. And a bunch of our folks having breakfast early. A bunch of those will come down a little bit later. Morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, we're leaving our hotel for a walking tour of Leipzig. And it's a beautiful city, university town. Look at this fancy university buildings here. And here's our group ready to go.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Ken.
Morning, Stephen. I'm going to Mass. You probably will. I hope you'll join us.
I will. As long as it's a Catholic church.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
George got his suitcase last night. There comes Veronica. Steve Ray here. We're going to be touring Leipzig today, but we're going to start with Mass here first.
Therefore, O Lord, as we celebrate the memorial of the Blessed Passion, the resurrection from the dead, and the glorious ascension into heaven of Christ, your Son, our Lord.
You know, it says that if they don't listen to you, take it to 2 or 3 others, and if they don't listen to them, take it to the church. Now, how many people were in the upper room? Do you remember? Well, those who have been to Israel with me should know this. 120, I'll make it short because we don't have much time. 120 were in the upper room. And you know it says in Jewish tradition at the time of Christ that if you wanted to break away from the big city and go out and start your own community, that you needed a minimum of 120 people. That's why Luke says 120 were in the upper room, but he doesn't say 120 people. He says 120 names. That's like me saying we had 33 names on our pilgrimage. What a strange way to say it. But the point is that they needed a list of 122 names in order to have the authority to break away and start their own community. And what is the church? It's the new community that started. Now, the Jewish community had the power to bind and loose. That was incorporated within the authority of the Jewish community. And it was binding on all Jews, whether they are in Jerusalem or Rome. They had the authority to bind and loose. That was a judicial and a legislative authority to excommunicate, to bring people in, to declare sins forgiven, all of this legislative judicial authority. Matthew 18, you see Jesus says that if they sin against your brother, take it, go to him. If not, take 2 or 3 witnesses. That's Jewish. Whenever you went to the court, in a Jewish court, you had to have 2 or 3 witnesses in the courtroom. And so what Jesus is saying is you are now a new society. You are having the authority to bind and loose. You are a new civilization. You're going to have your own courts and your own judicial system, your own legislation. And so this is what the church is. It's not just a religious body that gets together on Sunday. It is a family. It is a community with its own courts and its own judicial system and its own legislation. So when we says take it to the church, where is the church? Where do you take it to the church? There's only one church. It says the church, not take it to a church. take it to the church. Jesus expected there to be one worldwide church that no matter where the problem was, whether you had a problem with somebody in Germany, in America, South America, there was a judicial court, the church that you could go to. It had an address. Now there's a split in the church. Martin Luther builds the Lutheran church on that side of the street, and we have the Catholic church on this side. And in Leipzig, we have a problem with a brother, and we end up taking it to which church? If I'm in the Catholic Church, or I'll say, for example, you're a Baptist and I'm a Lutheran, and we have a conflict with each other, what church are we going to take it to? Your Baptist church has no authority over me, and my Lutheran church has no authority over you, and it makes a farce of Jesus' words. Jesus intended there to be one church that was visible, that the world could see, and therefore know that the Father sent the Son. There was to be a community with judges and courts. That's what the Catholic Church has been, was, and always will be. And when those broke away from it, they started something else that is not the church. And now they've made a farce of Jesus' words, take it to the church, because now there's no more the church, but there's a bunch of churches. But that's why that verse right there was one of the reasons why I became Catholic. Because I realized there had to be one church. It had to be the same church around the whole world. Otherwise, Jesus' words meant nothing. I'm glad I'm Catholic. This is the site where they had the great debate between Eck and Luther. Eck being a Dominican monk, and debated the purgatory, indulgences, the primacy of the Pope, and so on. This is not the building, but this is the location where it took place in 1521. Luther got backed into a corner and finally just decided that he was going to do what he wanted to do anyway. This is our group here, half of our group, talking about the debate between Eck and Luther went on for 20 days at this location. I would have loved to have been there. We are visiting St. Thomas Church, used to be Catholic, now is Lutheran. This is where Johann Sebastian Bach, as you can see his statue here, played most of his music and composed most of it, as he was the music director here for the church. One of my favorite composers, a brilliant man.
Here as quickly as possible, because during World War II the lid had disappeared and they were afraid the remains would be stolen.
We were divided into two groups, and here's the other group touring Leipzig. And it's a beautiful city walking through Leipzig. And here is Ken in the oldest coffee house in Germany. Since about 60% of the people here have no religion, this is what a lot of them do on Sunday morning. Like they have a marathon running through the town. October 1989, there was a protest here against the Stasi in East Germany, and 70,000 people came into the square. The Stasi were over there with machine guns at them, but there were so many people they eventually decided not to do anything. And this memorial is of the date, and you can see all the footprints of the people who were here. Our folks are protesting as well, praying for peace and joining their footsteps with those who protested back in 1989. We ended the tour at 12 noon, and everybody had the rest of the afternoon free to go out and find lunch all over Leipzig, just anything you want, restaurants, hotels, bars, pubs. A lot of people are going to go back to the hotel. That's our hotel right there, just a 5-minute walk for the afternoon free. Some people are going to take a nap, catch up on correspondence, whatever. So we'll rejoin again at 6 o'clock for dinner.
same time.
Here we are going to dinner at this restaurant.
Hi everybody.
Hi everybody.
I want to say hi to Gabriel, Emily, Adelina, and Caleb.
And
Rosemary.
Rosemary and Joshua, Liliana and Andre.
Wish you guys could be here, but we'll be home soon.
Yes, we still love you and are praying for you.
Well, this dinner was great tonight. This is an authentic German restaurant. You can see it's not just our group, but all the locals here from Leipzig are eating as well. It was a great meal, traditional with beef and mushrooms and sauerkraut and potatoes and dumplings. We're going to sign out for tonight. Tomorrow we're going to Eisleben, where Martin Luther was born and where he died. And we're going to go from there to Erfurt. So join us tomorrow.